How's everybody doing today? Is it Today in Web3? My name is Matthew Deemer. We're going to go through the news this week of what happened in the crypto space, the digital asset space, the Web3 space, and we're going to just do all Monday through Friday today, one day a week. I'm sorry that I'm not doing this every day, but I personally want to stay up to date. I know you do too, so I'm going to continue to put out at least a once a week show talking about what's happening in the news so we can stay up to date. Let's start with Monday. If you guys know, Quadringa CX was a huge story a couple years back. So what it was is Quadringa CX was a cryptocurrency exchange in Canada, the largest. It held around $190 million worth of crypto and had around 115,000 customers. Well, their CEO died in India on a charity trip. Everybody said that he must have rugged everybody and ran off with the cryptocurrency because where did the cryptocurrency go? It was all stuck in a cold wallet where nobody knew where it was. Nobody had the private keys, nobody in the company, none of his family, not his wife, nobody. And so all the money disappeared. People thought he rugged him. People said that he faked his death. The Nova Scotian authorities also confirmed that it was Gerald Cotton in his body, but nobody's seen it. So nobody really knows what happened. There's a lot of documentaries on YouTube, on Netflix. It looks as though that he did, in fact, die. Nonetheless, all the crypto is gone. Well, now some of the customers are going to have some relief, 13% worth. And what is that going to equate to? Well, if you had Bitcoin on the exchange, you're probably going to get around $7,123 worth of each Bitcoin back, even though it's $28,000 right now. And if you had some Ethereum on the exchange, you're going to get around $300 per Ethereum, even though it's around $1,800 now. Not quite a full recovery. It's not nothing, but it hurts still. That same day, LBRY token has been forced to only pay $111,000 penalty for its SEC fine. Its fine originally was $44 million, but they're lowering it quite substantially because, well, they're bankrupt, they're broke, they don't have any money. Just pay something. The fact is, it looks as though that the SEC never even cared about the money anyway, because they're trying to use this as precedent to leverage lawsuits against other crypto companies in the coming weeks, months, and years. The CEO of the token said at the Masari mainnet last year that the facts of this case would basically apply to every company in this room. The SEC has very much demonstrated that they're out to damage and destroy the cryptocurrency industry in the United States. At the same time on Monday, Gary Gensler, Gary G, our boy at the SEC, he said that he's willing to help anyone register with the SEC because there's going to be a wave of enforcement actions coming, so you better do it now. He also said that the rules have already been published. So let's stop saying that there's lack of clarity, that there's no regulations, that there's no frameworks. They're right there, he says. At the same time, one hand in the SEC is not talking to another. The commissioner of the SEC, Hester Peirce, said that there is no way to register. She pointed it out. There's no way to register. Okay, so how are people supposed to register? I guess Gary's going to help them personally. I don't know if that's going to happen, but good luck. We have some more news coming up in a little bit about registration and legislation and regulation a little bit later on. Just bear with me. On Tuesday, the cryptocurrency was snapping at the Democrats because the Democrats were backing fully the SEC, saying the United States Democratic Party has expressed an intent to back the Securities and Exchange Commission's total authority over crypto, and this was in a memo circulated among committee members before a hearing. What does the memo say? Well, it's to the Democratic Member Committee on Financial Services. It lists a lot of people on the first page. This is the second page here of the memo. The memo reads, while Republicans claim that they are working to provide clarity to the markets by carving out space for the CFTC and crypto, they're simultaneously undermining and hamstringing the agency by proposing cuts to its budget. Republicans are proving that they aren't really serious about protecting investors or consumers. Committee Republicans, this is the second point of the memo, are trying to pass pro-crypto legislation in June. Well, newsflash, our nation is set to default on its debt June 1st. Republicans' first priority must be to join Democrats, passing a clean debt ceiling bill to avoid economic collapse before it's too late. Number 3 in the list here. Republicans have decided to embark on a partisan pursuit of sweeping digital assets legislation that erects entirely new legal frameworks for the crypto industry. This is sounding rather partisan. Obviously, it's an amendment to the Democratic Party, but it sounds more politics than policy. Let's hope we put policy over politics. Speaking of putting policy over politics, we went to the EU, and the EU financial ministers gave the final go-ahead for the MiCA. And that is the new legislation in the EU to help create a framework of regulations in the European Union. People are praising this as what we said. Hester Peirce said that this could even serve as a model for the United States to approach the regulating sector. This is, like I said, the European Union's landmark crypto legislation, and this is the final legislative hurdle, and it passed with unanimous approval of the European finance ministers. And they said that they are pleased with the adoption. Basically, enacting this legislation is lowering the barrier of entry for individuals and entities to benefit from blockchain technology. And that's what's happening in the EU. Over here in the United States, Valkyrie files for BTFD ticker for its leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF application, which I think is a pretty degen move. I don't know why they're doing this. Anyway, it's not the same news, but it just shows like that's just a degen move in my opinion. Moving to Wednesday, this is the week of people getting their money back. So happiness to everyone, especially if you have lost your money in an exchange or some kind of earned platform, and they're saying and announcing that you're going to get some money back. Congratulations. Let's take a look at what's happening with Voyager. Voyager Digital predicts 35% consumer payout. They also said that Voyager's cleared to repay $1.3 billion to its creditors. And so there's a little bit of a hiccup here. Okay, let's go back and let's talk about the history. 2 deals to buy Voyager's assets fell through. The first one was from FTX. We all know what happened to FTX, and that was a $1.42 billion deal. The second one was a $1.3 billion deal, but it was called off because Binance.us, who was going to purchase those $1.3 billion of assets from Voyager, said that the United States has a hostile and uncertain regulatory climate. Well, now customers are going to be able to make withdrawals by June 1st. And like I said, that Voyager was cleared to repay $1.3 billion to its customers. But here's the issue. The customers can be made 35% whole with the money that they have now, but they're still trying to claw back around $445.8 million from FTX. If they do so, they'll be able to make those customers, their former customers, whole, or not whole, more whole, up to 63.74% whole to 75.68% whole. And the reason why I'm giving you both numbers, because multiple news agencies are not really clear on how that works out. Maybe I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it looks as though I've been seeing different numbers from different news agencies. If they claw back that money from FTX, the $445.8 million, they're going to be able to allow customers, their customers, to withdraw from Voyager either 63.4% of their funds to 75.6% of their funds. Anyway, that's honestly amazing. So congratulations to everybody. I hope we get that 75% back. That would be amazing. 25% haircut, but it's better than 100%. Continuing on Wednesday, Ripple acquired crypto custody firm Medico for $250 million. And Medico offers tokenized tools and custody infrastructure for institutions to scale new business models in the crypto industry. And Ripple said, according to new trends, crypto assets under custody are expected to reach, if not surpass, $10 trillion by 2030, a majority of which will be driven by institutional adoption. And so what they're trying to do is they're making acquisitions now to be able to give these institutional customers service in the future. Well, so far, this company that they just purchased, this Medico, have already provided services for Citi, Union Bank, BNP, and so on and so forth. So it looks as though this is going to be a next generation of markets, according to the CEO of BlackRock. And this next generation of markets is going to revolve around tokenization of different securities. The final bit of news on Wednesday was that Tether in Q1 made around $1.5 billion in net profits. And because they're in the money, they're feeling a little generous. They said, we're going to pump 15% of our net profits back into Bitcoin. How much is 15% of their net profits? $225 million. So if they can buy that much every quarter, they're calling a stability push. Hey, I'm happy. Keep that number up, baby. Keep that number up. Moving to Thursday, Litecoin activity hit an all-time high thanks to Ordinals mania. And you're 100% right. This is what's happening, is Bitcoin, their network is clogged. Things are taking too long, so people are moving over to Litecoin. And so that's why Litecoin saw around 584.8 thousand transactions in one day. It's the highest in history. It's declined. It's at 663,000 today, but that is still higher than it's ever been. Just wait until they put ordinals on Litecoin. Texas, they just passed new legislation that says crypto companies, Bitcoin companies, must provide proof of reserves in Texas. Like I said, this was a bill that passed the Texas legislature. It's House Bill 1666, and it is there to establish proof of reserves rules requiring crypto exchanges to provide an audited or on-chain proof of assets at all time. Good job, Texas. It's a first of its kind bill amid last year's atrocious track record for digital asset platforms, with FTX, Terra, Three Arrows Capital, and Celsius collapsing and leaving customers waiting to see how much funds they'll be able to recover through bankruptcy proceedings, as we've just been talking about. The bill, however, still waits for Senate approval, House of Representatives discussions, and then it'll need to go to Governor Greg Abbott for a signature. Honestly, this is great news. Texas has always been very pro Bitcoin, pro cryptocurrency, and so this is just another step in the right direction for Texas, in my opinion. They passed a bill to help and protect mining in April, so good job, Texas. Coinbase, on the other hand, I don't know if this is good or bad, to be honest with you. Coinbase is launching a subscription service, and it's going to launch in 35 countries. United States, UK, Germany, Ireland, and so on and so forth. And it's going to be $30 a month. $30 a month. It's going to give you 0 trading fees. It says unlock 0 trading fees. You can unlock it. You can get boosted staking rewards and unlock and activate up to 6.94% APY on eligible earning assets. And it has dedicated support, $1 million in account protection, and they will even pre-fill your tax forms for you. Now, that is white glove service if any I saw, but it's $30 a month. However, there is a cap of how much you can trade and get that 0 fee. So there is some fine print. I don't know who's going to take advantage of this. I don't trade enough to actually know what their fees are. They've always been high. Basically, this must have been their plan, to keep fees high on Coinbase so they can charge somebody a monthly subscription fee to say no fees. But if you're trading a lot under their cap, this could be very much worth it because their fees are insane. And Friday, May 19th, talking about legislation and regulation over here in the United States. American innovation will suffer, says lawmakers in Washington, D.C. And that's why we have a bipartisan Securities Clarity Act, and it was announced by Tom Emmer and Representative Darren Sato on Thursday. And they said, existing securities laws do not distinguish between an asset and the securities contract if or may not be part of. A draft of the bill states that it will update regulatory laws so that an asset sold pursuant with an investment contract, whether tangible or intangible, including an asset in digital form that is not otherwise a security or under the act, does not become a security following a sale or transfer. And these are laws being made by the wonderful world of Washington, D.C. and lobbyists, because right now there is a lot of regulation to go out. We don't know who's going to have control over crypto or digital assets. It's going to be the Cftc, the SEC, the Fed. Who the hell knows? The Treasury. We don't know who's going to be doing what over there, because nobody knows what's happening. So that's why stablecoin issuers are pouring money into DC and making sure those lobbyists are hard at work. Stablecoin issuers have poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into lobbying efforts to make sure that they are influencing their favorite DC representative. Who poured the most money into DC? Well, it's obviously the two biggest stablecoins. We have Tether and Circle spending millions of dollars. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me take the S back. More than $1 million between them, according to filings collected by ProPublica. There is a push to get something done. What will get done? Democrats versus Republicans. The crypto space versus Gary Gittins. I don't know. So that was our news this week. I hope everybody got caught up with the information in the digital asset, Web3, crypto, blockchain space. We don't even know what to call it anymore. Everything's so confusing. But we're going to keep you up to date once a week with a whole week roundup. Thank you for listening to me and following. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. And always send me an email, bookings@todayandweb3.com. My name is Matthew Deemer, and I will see you next week. Happy hodling, y'all.